Welcome to Community at Home for Thursday, June the 11th. I want to share with you a little bit about wills, plans, and strategies. And when I say wills, I'm not talking about the thing that you need to have to prepare for when you die. I'm talking about your will. What do you will? What's the will of God? We need to understand that God has a will. We're very familiar with that. We hear that often, God's will, that God's will be done. God has a will, He has a plan, and He also has a strategy. So God is constantly doing things. I believe it was John Piper who said that at any given moment, God's doing 1,000 things in your life, and you're aware of about 3 of them. God has a will, He has a plan, and He has a strategy. He has things that He is doing and He's working. Now, a lot of times we don't know what that is. Actually, most of the time or all of the time we don't know that, and we never know all of it. That's why we have to trust Him. We have to say, you know what, I'm going to trust God in this because I don't know what He's doing. Just because I can't come up with a good reason for something doesn't mean there's not a good reason for something. You know, and in this time when we're trying to make all kind of decisions about life and church and what do we believe and not believe and all of those things, it's really easy to think that we have all of the information when we don't have all of the information. This is true. You and I never have all of the information about anything. We think we do. We think that we have all of the pieces of the puzzle, and we don't. So that is something that we've got to be reminded of. But God has a will, He has a strategy, and He has a plan. Well, so does Satan. Satan has a will, he has a plan, and he has a strategy. There's demonic forces. They're doing their thing. They have a will, they have a plan, and they have a strategy. So God has a will, a plan, and a strategy. Satan has a will, a plan, and a strategy. And guess what else? You have a will, a plan, and a strategy. I have a will, a plan, and a strategy. Man has a will, a plan, and a strategy. Now, as Christians, what is it that we're supposed to be about? Well, we're supposed to be about God's will, God's plan, and God's strategy. Certainly not the satanic ones, and certainly not even mankind ones. There has been a divisive spirit in our families, in our churches, in our neighborhoods, in our country for a while now. And I'm not talking about the last couple of weeks or the last couple of months. I'm talking about for years. We've seen it. You can feel it in the air, this divisiveness. Back in the 90s, I read a lot from Leonard Sweet. And he's a prolific author. He writes all kinds of books. At the time, he's writing about what postmodernism was and how it was here and all of these things that are going to be changing. And I remember one time reading, he was talking about how television screens or monitors, they're going to go to being really big and really small. And what was going to be eliminated was the screen that was in the middle. The mid-sized screen was going to be eliminated. Now, if you think about that in your house, most of you have a very large flat screen television. It's big. And then you have a phone or a tablet. See how the middle was eliminated? So you got 75-inch TV, or I'm watching something on my iPad. Not a whole lot in between. That's been the elimination of the middle. And when you have an elimination of the middle, what you get is you get extremes. You get extremes theologically, you get extremes politically, you get extremes in all kinds of things. And when that happens, you get a very divisive spirit. A spirit to divide. I know that is a satanic will. That's Satan's plan. That's his strategy. He wants to divide. And we've got to make sure that we understand that and that we come against that. I want to read for you from Ephesians chapter 6, starting verse 10. He says a final word because this is the end of his letter that he's written to the church in Ephesus. He says, "Be strong in the Lord and in his mighty power. So I'm going to be strong in God. I'm going to be strong in his power. I'm not going to be strong in my will or my strategy or my plans, because my will, strategies, and plans rarely work. I'm going to be strong in him. Put on all of God's armor so that you will be able to stand firm against all strategies of the devil. See, I told you, Satan's got some strategies. For we are not fighting against, this is key. For we are not fighting against flesh and blood enemies, but against evil rulers and authorities of the unseen world, against mighty powers in the dark world, and against evil spirits in the heavenly places. That is who we're fighting. The Republicans aren't fighting the Democrats, and Democrats aren't fighting the Republicans. I mean, they are. That's not what's really going on. Remember how we say this? We say this at Anthem a lot. Things are not as they seem. There's stuff going on that's way beyond us. Therefore, so since we're fighting this spiritual battle, therefore put on every piece of God's armor, every piece, so that you will be able to resist the enemy in the time of evil, because he has a plan, he has a will, and he has a strategy. Then after the battle, you will still be standing firm. Stand your ground, putting on the belt of truth and the body armor of God's righteousness. For shoes, put on the peace that comes from the good news so that you will be fully prepared. In addition to all of these, hold up the shield of faith to stop the fiery arrows of the devil. Put on salvation as your helmet and take the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. Pray in the Spirit at all times. On every occasion, stay alert and be persistent in your prayers for all believers everywhere. And you know the beginning of the Lord's Prayer when Jesus said, "May your will be done on earth as it is in heaven." God has a will, he has a plan, and he has a strategy. Our job is to know what part he will reveal to us and trust him with the rest. Our job is to come against the will, the plan, and the strategies of Satan by putting on the full armor of God and all the ways that we can stand firm. So in this time, as the middle is continually being eliminated and the extremes are rising up, may we make sure that our faith and our trust is in the God of the universe and the God who is going to control everything all the time. And we have nothing to fear and nothing to worry as long as we're placing our trust in him. So I hope that is helpful to you today. Tomorrow, Friday at noon, we go live where you can sign up for one of our services this coming Sunday. So if you're in the green category and you want to come and be a part and gather with us this Sunday, make sure that you sign up at noon on Friday. Just to give you an idea, last time when we did this, the 9:30 service sold out in about 11 minutes. So don't take too long because they will fill up. Hope to see you soon, whether it's you stopping by the office or run into you, or you just call me and want to go have a cup of coffee or a hamburger or something like that. Love you, and we'll see you soon.